Hello, Internet, and welcome to another episode of Seriously Cast Beyond. Unfortunately, Nick is not available today, so it's just going to be Teresa and I. I'm going to go ahead and run this intro, and then we'll get right into it. Okay, for those of you that are probably new to what we're doing here, this is an offshoot project for the Seriously Cast podcast where we talk about paranormal things and just things that we find interesting that don't necessarily fall into the regular category of what we would talk about on the other podcast. In fact, happy Halloween. We are in the month of October and it is Halloween time. Go-
Yay.
it's one of the best times of year. Go ahead and introduce yourself just real quick for anybody that might not know who you are.
Okay. My name is Teresa. I'm into paranormal activity. I'm into a lot of other activity going on. I have interests and hobbies within the whole occult idea, I guess, superstitions, occults. Um, it's just something, kind of like the sixth sense type idea, something beyond the five senses. I'm really
Oh,
into that, exploring the mysteries of it and all that other stuff. And I'm Teresa.
you froze there for a second, and
Oh, I bet I did.
I need to change some
Oh,
settings.
okay.
Output. I mean, this needs to go through here. Go ahead and say something again.
Again,
Perfect. There. Now you're
something
perfect.
again.
There. We
Okay.
had a bunch of technical difficulties to start the show off with today, which we started like 30 minutes late. Okay, so today we are talking about Halloween. I wanted to just quickly go over just a brief overview of Halloween. It's a 1978 movie directed by John Carpenter, starring. It
So
has Michael
horrible.
Myers. They used a William Shatner mask that they painted white and made the eye holes bigger. Wait, that's not the Halloween we're talking about.
Not quite my birthday. No.
I'm sorry. I'm not actually sorry about that.
Stupid. Okay. The real Halloween.
The real Halloween. So I did a little bit of research and I came up with this article. This is an article from the History Channel, history.com. This article talks about mainly the tradition of Halloween as it appears today in America. And so, according to this, it has some ancient origins in a Celtic tradition or a Celtic festival called Samhain. And this was like from 2,000 years ago. They would dress up and they would celebrate the coming of the dark months. So like the sun sets earlier, and it's nighttime for more of the day than it is light out. And it was also a celebration of ghosts and the dead returning. And so they'd like light bonfires and whatnot. And one of the things that I read in here was they talked about they would dress up in costumes. So like when they celebrated the ghost or the spirits coming back, they wanted to trick the spirits into not recognizing them and to think that they are one of the returning spirits and just kind of would just leave them alone. And so that's one of the origins of the tradition of dressing up for Halloween is from that specifically.
That's interesting.
But then, as the Celtics got taken over by the Roman Empire, Rome decided that they would use this holiday and combine it with some of their own as well. And so, let's see here. Let's see here. Where is that? Yeah, so they would just kind of combine the two, and then eventually, let's see, the Pope here in like 609 A.D. Dedicated the Pantheon in Rome in honor of all Christianity martyrs, and the Catholic feast of All Martyrs Day was established in the Western Church. Pope Gregory III later expanded the festival to include All Saints as well as All Martyrs and moved the observance from May 13th to November 1st. And so that's All Saints Day.
Okay.
which then it says here, so it's All Souls Day was celebrated similarly as Samhain,
Mhm.
with big bonfires, parades, dressing up in costumes as saints, angels, and devils. The All Saints Day celebration was called All Hallows or All Hallowmans from the Middle English, All Hallow Messe, meaning All Saints Day. And the night
Okay.
before it, the traditional night of Samhain in Celtic religion began to be called All Hallows Eve and eventually shortened to Halloween. We got to learn the etymology of words today.
Wow. Yes, I feel like I learned a lot already. Too
So,
much.
back in the early days of the settlers, when they came here to America, because of the religious Protestant belief system, they didn't encourage the celebration of Halloween. And so so some people like mate and some of the other colonies would do their own sort of Halloween or All Saints Day or All Hallows Eve celebrations. Let's see here. Let's skip that. Okay, so the and then it also talks about the I'm moving a little fast here, but I'm trying to get as much information in here as I can. So it moves along here to the tradition of trick or treating. And so that actually has ancient, or not ancient, but old world traditions involved in that as well, where people would have beggars would come and beg for food, and they would give them like a soul cake, I think is what they called it. And so they'd give them the
Yep.
soul cake, and it was an exchange. So they would give the beggar the cake, the food, and the beggar would promise to pray for their loved ones or their dead relatives and whatnot.
You know
And
what's kind of funny about that is that in the Philippines,
mhm,
they have something called a Pangang Lulua. I
mhm,
guess it's pronounced. I'm bad at my pronunciations, but it's people go to house and they sing songs about the souls trapped in purgatory,
yeah.
and then they ask in exchange for like food or money.
Well, that is
They
another
actually sing about this stuff.
tradition in the Catholic Church is the souls that are left in purgatory. One of the things that I ran into, I don't remember where I heard this. I think it was a video that I watched from the History Channel. And so the more people pray for a specific soul that could potentially be stuck in purgatory, the more likelihood that they would be able to leave purgatory and go to heaven. And so that also goes into play with the soul cakes as well.
It's the
So
same thing in yep. I guess for that idea too. Uh, oh, I would say China does something really kind of cool where the Buddhists do the boats of law,
what is that?
where uh, they pretty much they make a boat, they burn a candle in it, and they burn it for the evening. They completely burn it down. It's to free the spirits and to remember the dead.
Mm.
So it is kind of a tradition, I guess, to you know kind of for them. There's something called the pretas. The pretas spirits. It's the spirits that never got buried. I
Mm.
gotta fly around here. Sorry. The spirits that never got buried that died. And so because they never got buried, their souls are kind of wandering around and they're known as dangerous. So they kind of do that to help them find their way through the afterlife
there was a
or
there
to the afterlife.
there was a similar thing that happened here in America, like right after the Civil War, because there was so much death and destruction during the Civil War that they had the lost souls of soldiers didn't have anybody to be there. Like a lot of them were just nameless people that nobody knew who they were, and they would just be buried in like mass graves. And so that's another tradition. It's not tradition, but another thing that came about in America was because of the Civil War. There was a huge um, uptick of people being superstitious about death.
Hmm. Yeah, they can be. Uh, what I read about something kind of funny in England. You talk about trick or treating.
Hmm.
It's called Mischief Night. Have you heard about that?
No, I have not.
It's Halloween in England. Apparently, Mischief Night is what they like to do. It's a It's where the kids go pretty much knock on doors and run away. It's the same thing we do here.
That's
There's
got.
a big tradition for that. It's called a oh, it was funny. It was hilarious. It was called, I just had it right here too. Uh,
Let me mute my
oh, it
phone.
was just Mischief Night. I'm sorry. So I apologize. Ireland is where it came from. So known as knockadolly, where you go to people's houses, knock on the door, and run away. So
Ah,
it came from Ireland.
that's a
That's over there.
kind of the origin of trick or treating as well. It's a
Yep.
similar thing. So the whole idea is you either we will do a trick on you, but if you pay us, you can appease us by giving us some sort of treat. So that's where kind of the term trick or treating came from. Is like, I'm gonna give you this candy. I'm gonna give you this sweet this like nice candy or cookie or whatever.
Now
Just
go
so
away.
yeah, so you won't mess with my house. That's kind of the idea behind it. That's why you say trick or treat. It's like you give us a treat, otherwise we're gonna do some tricks here.
And they don't do that in England too much. They took it from us over here in America, but they pretty much they carve up instead of pumpkins, they carve up beets,
Oh yeah, I was learning about
and
that
they're
too.
known as punkies, not pumpkins, punkies. So that was kind of cool to learn that.
Or jack o' lantern or something like that.
I believe that was from Ireland as well.
Yeah.
But a lot of other countries, I noticed that, for the Day of the Dead, there's 2 of them that I noticed that start on the October 30th and end on
Hmm.
November 2nd.
Okay.
And that's from Austria, does that, and also, the Austrian Catholics, celebrate Celinwalki? I don't know how to pronounce that. Also known as the All Saints Week,
Hmm.
between October 30th to November 2nd. They decorate graves.
Huh.
And the other one that does that is Mexico for the Day of the Dead, October
Yep.
31st. They technically do it till November 2nd
So
as
November.
well.
Oh, wow.
So,
Well, that's
yeah.
that's
So
more of
Mexico and Austria, who
the
knew?
Mexican Day of the Dead is more of a celebration of past family
Until
members.
November 2nd, the same as what the Austrian Catholics do till November 2nd, which
Really
is
good.
weird.
A really good movie about that kind of explains the tradition, the Mexican tradition of Day of the Dead would be Coco. That movie was really good.
Coco,
have you seen
nope.
it? Oh man,
No, I haven't heard of it.
it's a Pixar film. It's
Not
about
yet.
it mainly talks about like the traditions of the afterlife and how you get to the loved ones get to stay in like their version of the afterlife or like purgatory, not necessarily purgatory, until the moment that nobody remembers them anymore. So people keep the
Wait, is this a
picture.
cartoon?
Yeah, it's an animated CGI animated Pixar film.
I may have or may have not seen it. Sounds like
It's
something familiar.
it's got a lot of really good music in it. But I definitely suggest
Maybe I have.
anybody that hasn't seen it should watch it. It's really good.
Watch it. Okay.
I might watch it tonight actually. Let's see here.
A funny thing I found out in Germany here. Funny thing in Germany, they just started celebrating it in the 90s.
Oh wow.
They
That
didn't actually celebrate Halloween.
but Germany's got some
Just
really
found out
weird.
about it, but they celebrate something else called Carnival.
Okay.
So
German.
Carnival celebrated in January, February, and
Ah,
that's the same thing for like a month or something. They dress up,
Germany's got some really weird
but they
like holiday traditions. Like they got the Krampus for like Christmas and whatnot.
yes,
We should
yeah,
totally
they
do.
say the Halloween for the scary stuff. They said
Yeah.
so. Otherwise, it's Carnival. It's January, February. You all dress up in whatever you want to do, and even go to school dressed up.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Let's see here. What else we got for me? This article talks about black cats and witches. Not a whole lot. It also talks about
and
some
our
old.
traditions.
Yeah, it also talks about some old traditions that came along with Halloween, like matchmaking. Like women would pray for their future husband or something like that. There's something about them writing names on chestnuts and throwing them in a fire. And if
Yes, or rock in a fire. I heard about that one. Rock in a fire, and if you can't find it the next day, somebody's going to die
well
in the family, or they won't
the
live for a year.
the one that was here was more about finding love, and so it talks about throwing the
Hmm.
chestnut in the fire, and if it doesn't pop and it just fizzles or burns, that's the sign that
Yeah.
that name that you wrote on there is the person that you're gonna whatever. there was one about throwing there was one about throwing apple peels over your shoulder and hoping that it forms into the initials of your future lover or whatever. some of these
That
are
is
just
just bizarre.
some of these are just really stupid. See here, no, this is it right here. Young women tossed apple peels over their shoulders, hoping that the peels would fall on the floor in the shape of their future husband's initials. Tried to learn about their futures by peering at egg yolks floating in a bowl of water, and stood in front of a mirror in darkened rooms, holding candles and looking over their shoulder for their husbands' faces.
Oh,
Weird.
now that's just creepy. It sounds like a Japanese thing. No offense to the Japanese culture, but I've seen some of the movies there. They're creepy.
Let's see. Anything else I got on
Let's see
here?
what else. What else?
A quarter of all candy bought in the United States is bought for Halloween.
There's too much candy out there to begin with.
Let's see, we got some
But
stuff about Halloween parties I can read.
they
Let's,
celebrate it in other countries too. I mean, they do Halloween in
mm,
a bunch of other places. Japan, especially, is now taking on Halloween, big ones. Like they have giant street parties
oh
out
yeah,
there
yeah,
for Halloween, which I didn't know. It's not quite like the housing, like us, like party here, party there, your friends throw a
yeah, yeah,
party,
yeah.
but it's more like a street party there. So they'll have big events for Halloween and they'll do some crazy stuff. Uh, they'll all get together. They'll do group events. They'll do gymnastics. They'll do multiple people in multiple costumes at the same time. So
Huh.
it won't be so individualized, more like group individualized. So they do a lot of that there. Korea does not celebrate Halloween. Korea is the
Oh,
only one I found out that does not celebrate Halloween.
huh. Like in the
Besides, I'm sure I'm sure there's some tribes out there that don't do it either. But it's the only country I found out that doesn't do
well,
it, Korea.
a lot of what Halloween has to do with is harvest festivals, and so it's to
Mhm.
celebrate the last harvest of the season, and the death of like your crops are gonna die because it's cold and everything's gonna die. So it's more traditionally like a celebration for countries that do farming like agriculture like in America, Germany, like that kind of thing. So they probably have their own like soul day or day of the dead, just not in a traditional Halloween sense though. Like I didn't look into that. I could have.
Mhm.
I should have.
I didn't see anything about Korea. They just maybe it's bad luck there. I don't know. But they don't do that. As far as I know. Can't say they did that at all. Um, China lights the lanterns, burn fire. Yeah. They do bonfires and lanterns and leave food and water out. And with their photos of their deceased in
Mm.
China. So that was kind of neat to see that. Okay. You know,
Uh,
and
well, I found this article here on kpopfoods.com. It says Halloween is definitely not a traditional Korean holiday, but the event is quickly gaining popularity in many parts of South Korea. There are some notable differences. You probably won't see the same plastic skeletons and cloth draped ghouls decorating people's front porches. Trick or treating is not widespread outside of schools and college campuses, and holiday specific haunted houses rarely make an appearance. And so it looks like it's something that's like Americanizing the country. It's picking up, it's catching on over there. Like
Hey, that's cool. I think the more the merrier. Why not? A
what is
reason
it?
to celebrate.
The in I think it's a Hong Kong Disneyland. They don't have a haunted mansion. They have a it's a mystical house, I think, something like that. But they don't because of the cultural differences and how death is portrayed over in Hong Kong in China, versus how it's celebrated over here. They couldn't
Yeah.
necessarily put a haunted mansion in Hong Kong Disneyland. So they have like is
But
this
they did celebrate Halloween in Japan,
yeah.
Disneyland.
Well, it's the
They
one
just did
the one at
for
Hong
the
Kong
first
is
time.
called Mystic Manor and not the Haunted Mansion. But they celebrated in at the Japanese Disneyland.
They did. They just did it in either 2020 or
Oh
2021
yeah,
this
no, I
year.
remember
No,
hearing
couldn't have been this year.
I
Must have
remember
been last year.
I remember hearing about that because they did like a haunted house kind of thing, kind of like what oh shoot the theme park in California that isn't Disneyland, Universal does their haunted attractions every year, and so I think Tokyo Disneyland did something similar to that, if I remember correctly. Okay, let's see here.
It'll be interesting to see.
What
Right.
was that?
Go ahead. Keep
Okay,
going.
yeah, no, that's all I got there. I have this thing
Well, pretty
about
much that's all my notes I got.
I've got some stuff here that's a brief history of haunted houses that was really interesting. Apparently, haunted houses had a what's the term? Its roots date back to wax museums, and so it talks here about let's see, what was her name? The origin of the haunted house date back to the 19th century London, when a series of illusions and attractions introduced the public to new forms of gruesome entertainment. In 1802, Marie Tussaud scandalized British audiences with an exhibition of wax sculptures of decapitated French figures, including King Louis, Marie Antoinette, Marat, and Robespierre. Tussaud's likenesses were remarkably accurate, and with good reason. She created death masks of the French Revolution's many guillotine victims. When she set up
Oh,
a
lovely.
yeah, so she actually had like one-to-one representations of these actual people because she had death masks of their faces. But it talks about in this article that the idea behind the haunted house was became popular in the United States, again, to prevent youngsters or kids from doing their tricks, from like vandalizing things, because it became a holiday of people going out and just fucking with other people. And so the haunted house was a way to distract the young kids from doing the bad things that they didn't want them to do. And so that this was a fun read.
Well, I bet. I bet. No, I haven't seen that yet, so I'm gonna have to look at that after the cast is over.
Mm.
So I'll definitely read up on that for sure. That looks pretty good. Do you have a link for that? You got that in the?
Yeah, I'll put it up. I have it. It's in our group chat with Nick and whatnot. Oh, it also talks here about the Winchester Mystery House in this article too. That's something I want to go see sometime. Do you know the
I heard a little bit about this.
Oh, so yeah. So the idea was Mrs. Winchester was the wife of Winchester, the guy that created the gun, the Winchester rifle.
Yep.
And after he died,
Yep.
she was into like spiritualism and a mystic, or oh shoot, I'm trying to think of the exact word, but somebody that was a guide of theirs for the mysticism and whatnot said that she's going to be tormented by the spirits of everybody that was killed by the guns that her late husband made. And so the idea was that she was going to build a house to confuse the spirits so they can't find her and torment her.
Yes. Yes. So there's doors and stuff that lead to almost
Yep.
nowhere, and There's secret
I
passageways in the
think
house.
something that I heard
I heard about
was
this.
every single staircase in the house has 13 stairs. And so yeah, like doors would go nowhere. Like there's ballrooms. I think of the story was she never slept in the same room 2 nights in a row. And so the idea, let's see, there's a picture of it here on the article. I've got it pulled up. And so that would have been a fun one. I should have done a little bit
Mhm.
more. We can do like an entire episode just about the Winchester Mystery House. Okay.
Ooh,
Yeah, this is
that does sound kind of fun.
yeah. So there's a picture of it at night. But I want to go there so bad. It's let's
Now, where's that at?
this is in California. I don't think it's too far from. I don't think it's
Oh,
too far from Disney. Let's see. Chester Mystery House. Let's take a look at where it's at specifically. It's in. Let's see here.
based in San Jose.
Yeah. Is it San Jose? Yeah, it's San Jose, California. So that's the house.
Mansion. Oops.
Let's see. There's they do oh yeah, you can do like
Man.
a
Boy,
quick
I need my glasses on. I read this.
you can do like a quick
Yep.
walkthrough of the house on Google
In
Maps.
San Jose. Winchester Boulevard, San Jose.
Probably named after the house.
The Winchester House is at Winchester Boulevard.
Wow, this is a cool picture. This is like the roof of the house here. Let's see. Oh, there's a back view of the house. Let's see, we can.
Are they selling the house, or is
No,
that not even for sale?
It's a museum. Like you can go in and
Museum.
look at it.
Okay.
Neat.
Well, you got your virtual tour there.
Yeah, you can go. Apparently, you can look at the the greenhouse. We can't go that way. Can we go this way? Yeah, we can go this way. No, I want to go that way. I guess not. Whatever. Interesting.
It only goes so far.
Yeah, like you can see where you can go to the front of the house here and just look at the front of it. That's a picture of the front of the house, apparently. Okay. Well, I think we're out of stuff to talk about today.
I think we did pretty good.
Yeah, this is going to be one of our shorter episodes, but it happens.
We're missing a link here.
We're missing a what?
Missing a link. A link.
Yeah, it would have been easier.
LINK. Link.
Yeah. Well, Nick wasn't here to help us move along the conversation as well. He's pretty good at keeping us on track. Okay. Well, I just want to say again, happy Halloween. Is there anything you want to add? Anything you want to end with?
Just have fun for Halloween and don't screw around people's houses. So, have a good time.
Be safe, especially with the global pandemic going on. God Lord Fauci finally said that it's okay to go out trick-or-treating. We got permission from the government that we can go trick-or-treating. God damn it. Oh, man. I really hate
bad.
politics.
Okay.
Well, like, comment, subscribe. Give us, if you have any ideas for any other topics that we could talk about on this podcast, let us know in the comments. Email me, seriouslycast@gmail.com. You can contact us through any social media. We don't really have a presence on Facebook, but you can try to contact us there. I don't know if it'll work. But that is it for today. We'll see you guys next month. The ghost hunt is on hiatus, at least for the moment, until we can figure out a new date and time to get that done when Nick is available. So we'll keep you guys updated on that. Hopefully we'll have something by next month. But that is it for us.
Yes, we're hoping to.
Yep. Okay, that is it for us today. Hold on, I want to talk to you after the outro. But you're gonna stay on screen, but some music's gonna play. We'll keep talking.